cooking. I know, it's early. Somebody's going to say, are you cooking dinner or breakfast? I'm actually cooking dinner right now. I've fed, I got the cats fed, the birds get fed, everything's been fed except me at this point. Okay, we're going to make pasta with a rustic slow-simmered tomato sauce with meat. And we're not using beef, we're using pork this time. But one thing they do want you to have is an onion finely chopped, which usually means minced. They don't tell you what size onion, so you're pretty much left on your own. If you like onions, you'll probably put a large onion in. You know, the season will also dictate. Get my bag to put everything in. This is a very simple recipe. It has very few things. It has salt and pepper, a can of tomatoes, meat. It's just a simple recipe. At this point, I'm just hoping I don't cover you up while I'm trying to do everything here. If I'm slow, do not say anything. I haven't been up that long. I think I've been up less than an hour. Yeah, less than an hour. Haven't taken care of myself eating, but made sure everybody else is eating. I don't want to cut my fingers. That's what I did last time. I guess all of you are going to have coffee. Coffee. Good morning. How are all of you? There's chilling. Oh, it's good. I had some yesterday. And I'm going to take some of it today and I'm going to thin slice it and I'm going to make some breadcrumbs because I've got a recipe coming up. I'm going to need breadcrumbs. So I'll be doing that today. You're supposed to tell me how it came out for you guys. Like I told you, it's a very old recipe. Sometimes that bread gives me a problem. Sometimes I look at it and say, really? And at other times it comes out. I make it the same way, but just depends upon my yeast wanting to be nice to me or not. But it came out with good flavor. But what I like about it is you can toast it very nicely. It makes excellent garlic bread. It sits there and it's absorbent if you want to use it with a stew. I love the breadcrumbs from it too. The breadcrumbs are really good. But you can always put spreads on it, you know, and if you cut it at an angle, if you wish, as a sandwich. I like making big sandwiches, so I'm going to use that. Good morning, Ed, chilling, Da, Savan. I will. I'm going to try to have a great day. I gotta take 2 of these off. Okay. I'm not taking all this off. We'll just whack some of this off. That's changing. The whole top of it's changing, so I'm just cutting that section off. So see, most people think of beef when it comes to using a tomato sauce, but we're using pork today, which is going to be different with pasta. In a bowl, we're putting 1 minced onion, a bowl, because we're prepping right now, getting things ready. We still have to get the meat ready too. Oh, you're packed tight. Wherever you came from, that was a very cold winter last year. The only time I find it really important to have nails is when you need to hold something. You lock your nails into the food. Holds it very nicely together. But then you have to be careful you don't cut your nails into the food, which I have done. That's why I keep my nails very short. Too much trouble to keep them long and painted. And nail polish gets into the food and stuff. I'd rather have hands I can work with than hands that just look pretty. Okay, we need this knife. All right, now we need 1.5 pounds of a boneless pork butt roast. And we're going to cut it into 1.5-inch pieces. Well, we're going to come close to that, okay? I'll say we're going to come close to that. They want you to also trim any excess fat off. All right, I have a pork loin rib in roast, boneless. I could not find 1.5 pounds, so I have one and about 3/4 of a pound. I'm a little over it, all right, because it's 3 something a pound, and it's almost $7, so I'm just a little shy, sort of in the middle, and nothing I can do about that. Now, as you can see, I don't have much fat to trim off of this. Very little. Because they don't want this dish to be greasy, so they're going to ask you to definitely trim off some excess fat. So you're going to have to do it. What part of the globe are you streaming? America. I'm learning that streaming means we're live. I'm learning the terminology slowly. Not going to be able to get all the fat off, but we'll get a little more off. Okay. I don't think there's that much fat on it. I still have to cut off, but we'll see. Understand, you can't cut all the fat off, but you get a lot of it off. That's what they want you to get. Sandra, why'd you throw it in the onion? Oh, I don't know, it's a thing to do. You want it 1.5 inches. Let me see what 1.5 inches on this one. Oh, these are going to be big. Okay. This is a utility knife I'm using. Maybe some cut big pieces. That's what you want. Okay. Don't worry, we'll be shredding this after. At least you'll be able to see there's a lot of fat on it. Cut the excess fat off. That tore off very nice and easy. Now, I know you're not supposed to give animals pork, so I'll put that to go out to compost because the ground's frozen. The city's got to pick it up. No, but I do take the pork bones and I will pressure can those because I use those as stock. You want them big. Really don't like them that big, but that's what she wants. Okay. Okay, they want you to take a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and sprinkle the meat. So I'm going to lay it out to get the salt on it. I'm going to use iodine. I can't use this one. Okay. All of you together. I'm going to sprinkle it high. There. Now what else? Is there any more prepping we have to do? You want pepper. Okay, I got to grind some pepper up and then we'll get this started. What are you cooking? I'm learning a lot from you. Thank you so much for all the way from the Windy City, Chicago. Oh, good morning, Chicago. We're making pasta with rustic, slow-simmered tomato sauce with meat, and we're using pork. Hi, Joseph, Eli, cheese toast? Thank you for, yeah, it's an old brooch. It's actually an antique brooch. Yeah, we're going to have to put pepper in it. I'm using black pepper, though I am tempted to add some green ones in here because they're hot. So if I go there, don't say anything. Yeah, I'm going to get some green peppercorns too. The green ones are the ones that sneak up on you. You start it and it feels really good, just like a regular pepper, and next thing you know, your mouth is on fire. So we're going to add some heat to this dish by using these. Not too much, but enough. I'm prone to using pepper. I'm a little heavy-handed with my pepper. Pork. Yes, pork butt, boneless pork butt. You need, it states 1.5 pounds, but this is a little over. Now, if you want to calculate the protein, it's 25 grams for 3, so 1 pound is 16 ounces. Add about 8 to it. See, we got 24, so 5, just round it off and say 25 times 5, and that's how many grams of protein you're looking at right here. That little bit, and this would feed, if everybody ate 20 grams at a meal, you could feed 6 people with this dish. Isn't that easy? We've just become gluttons in our so-called modern world. Instead of storing meat and food for the winter, we just go to the store every week and buy it, and we eat as much as we want, and then we have the extra sweets. You could say we're being a little bit on the piggy side. Doesn't tell you how much to put on pepper, so I am going to enjoy myself. Put extra pepper on this. So there's a lot of protein in this little bit of meat you see here. You say, really, that much protein? Yeah, there's just that much protein. It also goes for fish, fowl. What you need to know is 25 grams for every 3 ounces, and then you can start calculating for your family, and you might find that you'll actually be able to save more money. I mean, it works. I took the chicken. I got 2 meals out of it, making sure that each meal I covered for what they needed. I should put that with the bowl, Sandy. You'll never find it when you need it again. We're going to have to go back to it. All right. You're going to need a tablespoon of oil, and they're talking about a 12-inch skillet, and we're going to put it over medium-high heat. Okay, so I'm going to get you over here. Hi from China. Barbara, hi. Phil, hi. I'm having to read them as they're going. Mandy, good morning. Good morning to all of you. I know it's not morning everywhere else with everyone, but it is morning for me. The sun hasn't even set yet. They want over medium-high heat until that oil shimmers. It's like you look at the toaster as the toast is cooking in the toaster. You see that heat coming up? That's what you're looking for when they say shimmer. They want it on a medium-high. And this is frozen. Oh, it's defrosted. Oh, I'm so fortunate. Oh, that's about a tablespoon, I guess. So we're going to get that hot, and then we are going to braise. Now, if I didn't put oil in this pan, I would call it searing, because there's nothing there. But we are braising, which term means browning. Oh, I can tell you the state I live in, but I'm not going to give you my exact address. That we can't do. We're given orders not to do that. I live in New York State. So all of you, I hope you've had a wonderful time since I was last on. I am going to try to make, listen, today I'm going to do this. I am going to make cranberry coconut scones. I'm going to sit there. I have coconut milk. If it's still good, that's what I'm going to use in place of the milk that goes into the scones. And I'm going to use dried cranberries. Though I do have those chili. No, I'll just stick with, I think I have regular cranberries. We'll just stick with regular cranberries. That's for this afternoon. I'm going to see how the coconut milk works. If it's still good, it should come out good for scones. Have that underlining flavor. Oh, you're an Italian New Yorker. Okay. Good morning, Paul. Sim. Oh, have fun. We're going to have some rain over the weekend. Maybe that'll get rid of the snow. Listen, at this point, the snow is so dirty. It can stay in the backyard because that's still clean. But everything up in the street is a mess. Hi, Cass, and good morning. I'm waiting for the oil to give me that shimmer. Once I see that, I'll know what I have to do. And listen, guys, when I start doing some things, if I don't answer, it's not because I don't want to. It's because I cannot. Okay. Oh, don't you know we have a socialist? He doesn't care about anybody. He says, I'm going to tax the rich. Well, he lives in a very wealthy neighborhood, and I hope he realizes he's talking about himself, but he's probably going to say he's going to put himself, he's going to be immune to it. Now we're going to braise these. The streets were never like this until he got voted in. He also, a lot of people died in the street. I mean, and he laughed about it. And the people that voted him in, New York City did not vote him in. Let me tell you what really happened. He had a YouTube channel or a chat or something, and he was doing TikTok. He had a following. There was nobody viable for a mayor. So a lot of people didn't vote because there's over 10 million people? He only got 2 million. There weren't that many people out voting. I voted. But I didn't vote for him. So a lot of people didn't go out to vote. So all of his followers on TikTok, and he encouraged them on what he was going to do when he became mayor, and he was going to do this, and he was going to do that. So they voted for him. And what did he do? He turned on him as soon as he got into office. So now we have 4 years stuck with this idiot. That's facts. That's not coming off my head. I'm only going to tell you what's going on. That's what's going on in New York City. And right now it looks like a dump. So we're going to do that. So I'm not happy about what happened. But we have a good chance of getting a lovely governor. And the government can, and not the one we have. I don't like her. Never did when she came in. The only thing I think of is she looks like a rabbit. I just thought that's where my mind goes. I'm trying. Eric, hi. I don't go to the beach. Last time I was at the beach was when my husband was doing a sketch And that was the last time I've been to the beach. Except, no, yeah, that was the last time. The time before that, I got burnt very badly. Good morning, Joy. Sim. Lane. Phil. Yes, he was a more likely candidate. I hope this mayor is so stupid. I really hope he is. The president comes down on his tail. I will be so happy. But he's thinking of raising property taxes and stuff to find money to do what he wants. But he let all those people die. I mean, all the other mayors made sure those people that live in the street, who want to live in the street, are getting inside to save their lives. Because they do, you know, need shelter when it was that cold. This guy just laughed his tail off about it, which is very cruel. And then he comes on after he's mayor, he says, I want all of you to become Islam. No, we're a Christian country. Sorry. Yeah, and it's smelling good. We just put salt and pepper on it. Titus? Okay. Oh, goodness. So I have some things I want to do. I want to slice the bread, especially the one that did not want to rise and spread out. Real thin slices, and I want to toast it, and then I'm going to make breadcrumbs because I have some dishes. My son would like to have the chicken salad, chicken macaroni casserole that I made again because he enjoyed it that much. Yeah, isn't that funny? It is. But that's life. What can we say? And do you know people still believe the earth is flat? Weird. Now, I'll tell you what I was thinking about this morning. You're probably going to say, really? Were you thinking about that? Before the alarm went off, I have to be honest, I got up a little before the alarm. And I was thinking what the ARE had said in a reading, and people were shocked that he said this. Yeah, he's not even American. And I hope the government sets up that no foreigner can hold any office, local, state, and federal, and just have Americans, because only Americans understand Americans. And anyway, what I was thinking, when I went to the ARE thinking, I just woke up with it, and I said, you know, it said in the reading that, there's two things I think about. He said that there's 7 races. And they questioned him in the reading, are you sure? He said, yes, there were 7 races. We have the yellow race, we have the red race, we have the brown race, we have the black race, we have the white race. But the 2 races that have been wiped off the earth is the gray race and the blue race. I did not know that. And they were killed off. And another thing I thought of was what he says of the future. And what happened that, who were the ruling races before, what they call the European races ruling now, they said. I don't see it that way, but anyway. They said the 2 races that fought really, really hard were the red race and the black race. They hated each other. They almost destroyed the earth in a war. And I said, was it an atomic war? You know, I think about these things. These are things I think about. Yeah, before you get up, you're supposed to be thinking other things. But I'm thinking what the ARE said, what the Bible said, and that's what goes on my head. Hi, JD. Uh, I, I I'd like to say that, but I don't think it's going to be a good year coming up. I think it's going to be better as we get ourselves more together. But listen, I wish you the very best of the year. Stay positive if nothing else, no matter how bad it gets. Keep a positive frame of mind. So I'll say God bless. May He look kind and help you through whatever you're going through. Because we all have our problems. I'm not going to say I'm free of them. You're welcome. I think we all know God loves us. You know who doesn't love us? Ourselves. We don't love ourselves. SOS scrubbing, Comet, and elbow grease. Every time I cook, I clean them like that. Head, that's exactly how I clean them, with SOS and Comet. That's cast iron, stainless steel, pans you can really scrub. And my husband got me Cuisinart and All Clad, and these are some pots. I don't know if they'll last for generations, but I know cast iron has lasted for 3 generations, and that is the best so far that I know of. Yeah, if you burn something really bad and you can't get it from scrubbing, put water in it, put it on the stove, boil it on high, and as it boils, take a wooden spoon or something to scrape it, and it'll get it free. Chillin', I'm jealous. You got cast iron. I've only got a few. I'll burn this one a little more. Coming along very nice. I'm not upset with it. So we're going to fall over. The dream. My biggest dream, though, you would think it's stupid, is to get to heaven. That is my dream, to be able to do that. But on earth, God, I couldn't even. Right now you're catching me with somebody who just got up. What would be my dream? I don't know right now. I couldn't answer that. Oh, heck no. I like my feet on the ground, please. Please, you go skydiving all you want. I like to keep my feet on the ground. Maybe something about being 70-something, you want to be more secure on the ground. Actually, it's a tomatoes with pork that we're putting together. The recipe's over there. So this is God and Duke and ham. So let me go ahead and read it again. We are going to have pasta with rustic slow-simmered tomato sauce with meat. And we're going to put this meat on a plate because we've got some other stuff we have to do. All right. Heck, thank you very much. No, I really am. Wait a minute, how can I pull this down? There, I can do that. Thank you. Yeah, I really am that old, believe it or not. I look and I say, how much more am I going to see of this earth, you know? You just never know. I think of strange things sometimes early in the morning. I mean, I think, why would, they say now that old people have a funny smell to them. And I said, well, let's see. They're putting preservatives in their food. It's not that they're getting old, it's just they're being poisoned slowly to death. Chillin', you're young at 43. Thank you. I can't see who that is. Vinny, thank you. I remember, now I'm going to go back on my husband with this. Well, you will if you stay on this page. Come cook with me. I already showed you how to make biscuits. I'm going to show, and I showed how to make French bread because somebody asked me to. I didn't plan to make it that day, but somebody said, could I please do it for them? And I did. I had everything in the house. If I don't have it, I can't do it. Okay. What fat do I have here? I don't have a ton of fat. I'm going to put a little. If you have fat, they say pour everything off except for 1 tablespoon. Okay, so I have to add a tablespoon because my meat is really, really lean. I'm going to add the onion. Okay. Let me turn this down a bit now. I don't want to burn this. Ow, that's hot. You can find it. It's under, look under live butter biscuits. It's right there. I explain everything. I say I am doing well. Waking up. I haven't eaten yet. I haven't done anything except feed everybody else on myself. And got my cultures out. I've got to feed those. I've got to feed the cats outside. The birds outside when they wake up. They haven't woken up yet. My cats are fed. How did I get that fed? All right, you're going to add 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt to your onion. Okay, we're sauteing these. Now, they want 1/2 cup of wine in this. That's okay, chill it. I use lard. Don't think I don't. Dag. Now, they want me to use wine. I'm not using wine. I'm going to use half a cup of bone broth in place of it to make it nutritious, because the bone broth has all those minerals and stuff to keep your arthritis away and your joints from deteriorating, as well as your teeth. So you have to think about that. Okay. All right, you are going to need a 28-ounce can of whole peeled tomatoes. That's what I'm opening right now. Oh, come on, Sandra. Okay, we got you. Now that wine or you're using stock is going to reduce a little. Scrape to get the bits up on the pot or the bottom of the pan there. Okay? Because they're a flavor, they're not really burnt. So you can loosen them up so nothing will really burn on this. Okay, keep on cooking. All right, you're going to add this whole can. Yeah, and that's exactly what they want you to do. You're going to crush these tomatoes up a bit, or at least where the juice can come out of them. You know, just make sure they have an opening so they don't explode on you. Because they're going to break down as we cook and get softer, but we want to make sure the liquid can come out. See? That's what you don't want. First they tell you to trim it, and now you're going to put this meat in here. We're going to be cooking this for a good hour and a half. Until this meat is thoroughly tender. Let me see if there's anything else. Now this is going to have to cook for 2 hours. I'm going to bring it to a boil, turn it down to simmer, and then you're going to cover it and periodically come in and turn the meat to make sure all the meat cooks. If you're using beef for this dish, they said 1.5 hours the beef should be done. But the whole object is we want to cook this pork in this sauce until it gets really soft. And then we're going to sit there and tear it up. So let me go get a lid for this. should just pull my paella pan. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing there. The only other thing you're going to really have to do is we've got to get the pasta going. Now they want 2. So I got rigatoni. This is the one I'm using. Now when it comes to a nice good boil, turn it down to simmer. And realize for 2 hours it's going to be cooking. And I'll show you how I cook my pasta. Well, if that's how you feel, Leaf, by all means, I'm not going to tell you. You have to. I'm just saying how this recipe goes. I don't believe in diets. I think a lot of people eat very, very poorly. There's a lot of preservatives and chemicals and stuff they've done to the food. And I think that's causing a lot of poison. They've also taken out a very essential mineral that we need, and the minerals can't be absorbed. People are constipated and not really moving their bowels properly. Their digestive system is down because they're real quick to pop medication. I mean, birth control for a female, it messes up her B's and it also messes up her digestive system. A simple aspirin, the damage it does. And that's a simple medication. You can imagine what blood thinners do. It attacks the body because these are chemicals. They're not in there. We have a natural antibiotic, but people go and pop antibiotics all over the place. And so I believe also that we eat more than we should. That's another thing. And a lot of people sit around. It's too much trouble. It's easier to go and have somebody cook it. Then think about how much sitting around you do. Are you active the way you're supposed to? Yeah, people who go to the gym, but they're not active all day, so they run to the gym to get as much activity as they can. If you don't move a lot, you can't move your bowels. The digestive system is down. Food can't be absorbed. The chemicals are blocking food from coming into your body. You just think that we are actually poisoning ourselves to death. And the first sign of it is, and all these foods that you're buying have a ton of salt in them. Salt is very high in sodium. And what does sodium do? Causes you water weight. This is where you could have 10 to 20 pounds of water weight on you. So when you start dieting right away, a lot of weight comes off. That's because they cut back that salt. Takes time, and then the body gets rid of it. And then you've got actual weight you have to deal with. I'm not as active as I was. I can eat 1 meal a day, and I can go 24 hours without eating. Does that tell you? But young, my mother couldn't keep food in me. It was like every hour I was hungry, and she kept on looking. Sandy, I just fed you. Yeah, I know, but I'm hungry, Mommy. You know? So mothers have to cook a lot. But mothers don't want to cook. They'd rather go out and eat, buy instant food, throw chips and cookies and stuff in and say, there, you can eat all that. But that's not helping them. So there's a lot of problems with diets. If I am going to diet, I will use the Manjaro recipe I made. And I did it. One time I used it for a week. I did nothing. And I noticed I only lost a little bit. Then when I was real active working in the yard and all, and I took it for a week, I lost a whole lot of weight. The Manjaro that I made, which I have under lock and key, you have to pay to get it. If any of you have paid to join or any one of those 3 levels I put up, you can get your hot little hands on it. I explained what it does to your body, how you use it. I also warn you that for the first hour, your throat's going to be a little raw because of the apple cider vinegar in it. But anyway, I made it. I spent over $200 to get that recipe. I bought a lot of bottles. They said, if I buy one, I have to buy all these. So I spent $200. I read the ingredients and in the order that they put them in, and then I adjusted it and made it to myself. All the ingredients can be found on Amazon. And if you want that, you can do that. Because I'm going to tell you, when you take that as the only thing in the morning, you are not hungry till about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And then if you're hungry, don't sit down and eat a meal. Just grab a little tiny something, no sweets and stuff, just a simple fruit or a piece of bread, 1 slice, eat it, and you can continue going. Well, I don't know how it works, but I do know that it cut my hunger way down, and I was very, very surprised. I'm not saying that, but if you want to order Manjaro, or you want to take those tabs, the needles, you can. It's a choice you have. But I can tell you the one I took, the only thing I did was my throat was sore for about an hour. Yeah, cheap meal. When I'm really hungry and I'm in the store, I'll open a bag of chips and eat it and then pay for the bag there when I get up to the counter because I hold the bag so they can run a code through. And I shouldn't do that, but I do that. If I'm really, really hungry, I'll really push myself. But then after I eat it, I notice the next day my stomach is bothering me. I'm a little bloated more. I'm not normal. I feel that bloatedness. So I know there's something in the chips and stuff that's going on that is giving me this problem. Hi, Tasha, I think. Tasha by Bayers. Okay. Putty. I like some of these names. Justin, Dag. Yeah. So you have to be careful. So that is a really cheap meal. You'll see me. If my sons were with me and I was little, I said, let's get a bag of apples and we'll all eat apples. Sometimes when they're really hungry, I used to take a quart of milk from the store before we paid because we were shopping and they were telling me they were hungry, though I just fed them. They were still hungry. Okay. I'd let them share the milk, hold the empty container, and take it up to the register to make sure. I said, my sons drank this or we ate this bag of apples. Please ring it up. So I don't walk out of the store without doing it, but it's usually something like that. Oh, I know that, Leaf. But if I'm full, I can't figure out what I want to eat. So I have to be hungry when I go to the store because I get all these creative ideas. Like I was in the store and I said, I've got open coconut milk. Cranberries? Dried cranberries? Should we do the one with the, no, I think just plain cranberries. We use butter, we could make some scones. I go there, it goes in my head. That's right, children. That's exactly what happens. You do feel bad. Let me show you how to make pasta. Now I can't make true pasta, but I can make it nutritious. All right. I have some potato water here and vegetable water. Well, I should say stock, vegetable stock and potato water. Has a funny smell with the potatoes in it, but that's okay. I'm going to use it all. Now, if I need extra minerals, I'll throw in some bone broth. Okay, and I'm going to cook the pasta in this. Will my pasta have flavor? Darn tootin' it's going to. I'm in America. I even think the giants that they're finding, I bet you 10 to 1 they're human, but not the way we are today. Because of all that I've learned, I believe the giants were us. The oxygen was high. We would have been able to walk from one spot to another in this country. We could walk around the earth being that big. We could cover miles. Imagine one step, and we're like 10, 15 feet tall. One step, whack. I would have to take, just hear me out. For every one step of theirs, I would have to take 5 to 10. If you've ever had a boyfriend and you're like my height, 5'3", 5'4", you have a boyfriend, he's 6 something. Now when he takes a step, that's 3 of yours, right? 3 or 4 steps. Because we're not taught to take long strides, we're taught to take smaller because we're feminine. Because of the way our hips are built, men can take a longer stride because of the way their shoulders are built. Because they're an upside triangle and we are a right and upside down triangle. So imagine if, just hear me out, if we are like 12 feet, 15 feet tall, we could cover ground. I mean, we could walk, it'd be no problem. And we could sit there and just take off, get where you're going. If you want to go south, you could go south. Real easy. You wouldn't need a car. You could walk. You could get and run. Oh my God, imagine how fast you could run. And the trees. I think about these things. This is where my mind goes. How the earth used to be. Could you imagine us being that tall? And the angels were bigger than that. So you can imagine how big they were. So I think they're digging up our graves. Just like I've looked at mountains. I could be very wrong about this. If we were that tall, if we were 10 to 15 feet tall, they said short, a midget would have been 6 feet, and that's what we call tall today. So you can imagine how big and massive we were. Because the oxygen was high, we would grow bigger. The animals, yeah, it will. Yes, the oxygen. So we wouldn't be this small that we are today. We would be that tall as well. Now remember, Goliath they talk about is that what God calls it? He was the only one who could stand in front of that dinosaur because it was so huge. All right. Now if the dinosaurs were huge like that and we were large, how big do you think the trees were? Oh, just think about this. This is all I'm talking about. They're finding big trees falling over. Now, we have mountains. Now, you know if a flood comes, just hear me out. When a flood comes, it throws sediment and stuff, and it knocks down trees, right? And when it leaves, it doesn't leave flat. It leaves stuff around the tree. We have these large, we have mountains. How do we know, or we don't know because we can't dig deep enough, how do we know if we could get into the center and dig down and take the dirt and stuff off? These are the stubs of the trees that were torn through a great flood. And the sediment and stuff settled all around these trees. And slowly we ended up with mountains and hills, especially the really large ones. Because if we were 15 and the giants were that huge, and then we had those huge giant dinosaurs, because they called all the animals dinosaurs. Could you imagine how big those trees had to be? Because they had different levels of those trees. We have it to this day. Some birds and animals live at the very top, some live in the middle, and they never come down. So we have all of this going on. So I can just imagine. Yeah, that's right. Jason, very right. I know about that. And I talk about this, because they're always Elvis Presley. They said he had pounds of waste in him as well. So you can imagine what's going on. But anyway, I sit there and I lay in the bed before I go to sleep or when I wake up, and I think my trees. I think they're huge. All right, if they're 15 feet tall or 30, they're bigger than I am, so they're huge. If we're 15 feet and we're that, just look at your tree and say, if you were that tall, how tall and how wide were those? And those animals, well, I'm calling them animals, we call dinosaurs. Imagine the fruit that they ate and the leaves they ate off those trees. Can you imagine how big the bird's nest would have to be in those trees? It's just mind-boggling. I remember when I learned about a horny toad. And we used to say, he looks like a dinosaur because he's got little horns on him. He's got his little tail. And he's got all those little spikes on his back. We used to play with them all the time. And if you pick them up or they thought you were looking at them for prey, they sit there and they have a red dye or something that comes out of their eyes and makes them look like they're dead so they don't get eaten. But it didn't fool us. We'd play with them anyway. And if you turned them upside down and rubbed their belly, they would go to sleep. Leaf. the earth isn't as old as you think because they're finding these trees and they have no rings on them. And you know, trees every year grow with a ring to tell you how the season was. These trees were just there and there were no rings. So that meant that they didn't grow into trees, they recreated as full trees and everything. Aver, Dag. Yeah, you think about it. I sit there and I'll lay in bed because if I get up before the alarm, I'll sit there. Or while I'm putting lotion on my face, I sit there, well, oils. I sit there and I think about this and I look up. And then I see birds flying up there and I said, could you imagine those huge dinosaurs, birds? I guess they just called them fowls at that time, but just mention how big they are. And scientists say if we don't get a body and we don't see it, it doesn't exist. Yet there are people who have seen Bigfoot, and he's 8 to what, 12 feet tall? These are big. But they say when you look into their eyes, they look human. And then there's an island, and these people talk about these birds, and they showed they didn't believe the people. And so they put a lot of sketches of animals, and they said no, no, no. And then they turned the page to one that was a dinosaur, and they said that's what we see. And because they can't see them, the scientists, they say, well, it doesn't exist. It's just they misunderstand. I mean, but if you listen to the folklores and the stories of the American Indians, they talk about the hairy man. There are pictures they have of the knights of the Round Table fighting a hairy man, which is a Sasquatch that we know today, or better known as a Bigfoot. So I'm saying something is missing here. Now, I know that angels were created before man. So I sit there and I think they would know more how to deceive us than we could outwit them. You say we have to be on cue, and nobody's going to convince me there's no demons, believe you me, not after what I saw. So I wonder sometimes, and I know this would counteract, a lot of people would not like what I would say, but I'm wondering if the demons are making us see things, you know, because they are capable of doing that because they were here before we were. Remember that. So they're smarter than us. They're more cunning than us. We have to stay on our toes. You can call it the greenhouse all you want. Man always has to label everything. No, I'm not going to be making butter biscuits today. I have coconut milk in the refrigerator. I'm going to make cranberry coconut scones. Fingers crossed. Okay? Look, scientists can say whatever they want. I have to disagree with them because I've seen too much. It's very difficult for people to believe unless you've seen the spiritual world. You only deal with the material. You're always going to have questions, and nothing's going to make sense. Like they say, millions and billions of years. No, they're finding bone marrow, that's cells that are still alive, soft tissues of dinosaurs that are alive. If they're 100 million, billion, or whatever they want to say, those tissues would be gone. It's something that you cannot deny. The earth is about 5,000 years old. And if things fall through, God says he rested on the seventh day. And if he's given us, let's say every 1,000 years is a day, and there's only been about a little over 5,000 years since the flood. Okay? I'm going to use our creation. Anyway, when you calculate, if it's 1,000 is a day. God rests on the seventh, and if we're at 5, we don't have much longer before he hits the roof, because he'll probably hit the roof on the 6,000 and say, I've had it with you children. I'm going to punish you. I look at it like that. We're making a pasta dish with pork. But I think about these things. I don't always, get it all right. I think about it a long time. But these are some thoughts that go through my mind. And I know people can probably disagree with me, and they believe in evolution. I don't believe in evolution. I believe the oxygen level is less than it was, so things aren't as big as they were. But I think about it. I can't deny God. I can't deny my faith. I can't sit there and say demons don't exist. I can't sit there and state this doesn't exist. I'm not sorry for it. I'm not going to change my religion. I am who I am. But I know demons exist because I've seen one. He scared the tar out of me too. So the only thing to hold on to is to God. The dinosaurs have been killed off. The Knights of the Round Table, they have a sketch of him killing them. You talk to the elders, and they talk about it. They all go back. It's not, the dinosaurs were here. There are paintings that have humans riding dinosaurs and stuff. The dinosaurs, I'm sure there's some in the water that we do not know. Okay? Very honest there. There isn't that much. Man and dinosaurs were together. Man has killed off how many animals that are extinct? Why? And if they wanted land and the dinosaur was eating it or stomping, India is a very good classic. An elephant's hungry, they go to eat. They'll go into the garden and eat. They will push that elephant out into the river and downstream to where it drowns. And it's hungry, just like everybody else. That's what we did. We've killed them off. No big catastrophe. We did it. Why do you think Noah and the ark, God made sure he got all those animals? God knew what he was doing. They came back, and man didn't want them. He killed them off and keeps what he wants. So you think about what we've done to animals up to this day. We've got some on the on the brink of extinction. And who's done it? We've done it. We, mankind. We're going to have to answer for it. This is how I feel. It wasn't that they just died off. We took the land from them. We took the food. We wouldn't let them have this. You do that with mankind, take the food and stuff away, he too will become extinct. So think about it. Like, I'm not saying you can't, but you also know that if the population goes down on a certain animal, you have to quit hunting it to give it time to come back. So that's why some animals that are endangered, you can't hunt them. So they're trying to keep an eye on it like that. But people have done this, and I feel it's the same thing. I don't condemn hunters. My father was a hunter, but my father also knew, like, I'll just use a simple term, herd. When the herd gets thin, you've got to leave it alone and let it rebound. Yeah, I love it. I feed as many wild creatures as I can. Of course, they're not very kind to me. They don't leave me anything, but that's how I feel. I'm not telling anybody else to believe the way I do, but that's how I perceive a lot of things. Yeah, Justin. Like I just saw some videos just how bad they finally got the Shroud of Turin, and they've actually been able to do a lot to see how he was tortured. And I thought it was, because the films make it nice and clean. He was almost skinned alive. I mean, they were ripping his skin off, and nothing was held sacred from him. He was blind in one eye, because they said that you could see the thing come across and hit one eye. Probably he went totally blind in that eye and everything else, and he did nothing wrong. Good morning, Missy. How are you? What's on the menu? Haven't seen you in a bit. Okay, everybody, I'm going to read it one more time. We're having pasta with rustic slow-simmered let's start again. Pasta with rustic slow-simmered tomato sauce with meat. That's what we're doing. Okay, got it out. But, so what have you been up to, Missy? You haven't been around. Hi, Blake, Isaiah. Seeing tomato chips in the back. Oh no, I was making ice cream and ice cream cones. I just put them up there. Yeah, Isaiah, that's what we have to do. Leslie, that's right. It's going very well, SG. Hi, Emily. No, those are ice cream cones sitting on top of the microwave. The chips over there, my son bought that because we were going to see the Super Bowl. Well, number one, I fell asleep. And he said, well, he woke me up and he said, Mommy, we can see it on this channel. And then he said, how's it going, as he ran to get, because that's for him. He said, how's it going? I said, oh, they only show 2 minutes and they spend 10 minutes talking about the players. He said, what? He said, they said I could see. Well, you're not seeing it. So I figured next year, sometime this year, if I can financially afford it, with everything else that I'm doing, I'm hoping that I will be able to get YouTube television so I can sit there and see the Super Bowl. Really? I haven't seen a Jasper Stone. Good morning, Rob. But anyway, they found a Geico, and he was in the sap. We called it sap. They call it something, an Auburn sap. And they said the Geico of today is the Geico back then. It hasn't changed. Nothing changes. It's just that we've been killing the animals often. We've done it. We've done it, and we'll probably do it again. We'll probably end up with world wars, and we will mess this earth up. Okay, Missy. Well, listen, you be careful with your health and all right? We look forward to seeing you. Peacock app? I never heard of it. NBC app? All right. Sosa, Rob, Isaiah. They're a little different in their ratio, but this afternoon I definitely want to make those scones. It's actually the ratio of the liquids and the dries are different when we sit there and make the scones. I've already showed you how to make butter biscuits, which is a very, very basic recipe. When I make these scones, you will see how the ratios are different, how you add it differently. Believe it or not, it's just like when you do a cake. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 1 pound of butter, 4 eggs, 2 cups of sugar, 3 cups of flour. That's why cakes were known as a 1, 2, 3, 4. So every section, like cookies, you have a basic ratio you work with. Muffins have a basic ratio, and so do biscuits, of the liquid and the dries, and then you adjust it, add different things, and then you end up with different things. Because I like angel fire biscuits, but they're a little different. All right, my stock is boiling. Now, I'm not adding any salt into it. I'm going to put the pasta directly into it and cook it. Now, I don't add the salt because I don't use a lot of salt. But the thing is I can't feed the plants or the yard outside if I add salt. So I can add the salt later, that's fine. But if you add it in there and you throw it out in the yard, you kill your yard. That's why I don't do it. So we're going to bring this pasta to a boil, turn it down, and let it cook till al dente. Now, al dente is not soggy, but it's not hard, but it's just at that point where it's slightly chewy. I'm not interested in that. Man has been very mean to man, and I guess it's just a lot of... Is there something you want to see back there? The Epstein files, I'm going to say it, whatever those people did, I believe in reincarnation and karma, so it's payback. If he's done it to people, these souls, and these souls have never touched him, then it's going to be them who are going to be paying him back in another life. But I don't like stuff like that. Yes, I'm crocheting a bedspread right now. I'm already thinking of an edging that I want to make for my hanky. I want to learn what you call needle knot, which is Armenian needle lace. A knitting. Right now I have sweaters, so I don't need any. But I enjoy crafting. Good morning, Charles. Good morning, Justin. Missy D, but I do. I gave the motif pattern for people who like to crochet for the bedspread I'm making. It's 3-dimensional, and I bought a lot of thread for that. It's a rose with leaves built up, and then I'm putting them all together. It's about an 8.5-inch motif. I gave the needle size and all. Missy, you'll find it if you want to see some work that I do. Emily, when you really, how can you get people to believe? Faith is things hoped for, yet not seen. I don't have to see it to believe there's a God. I don't have to see it that knows that he cares for me. This is my faith is actually which guides me through this. I know he loves me, and I know he cares about it. He created me. I wasn't a nothingness, and these two chemicals decided to come together, and then the earth and all. No, he created me with love. My parents created me. All of this is creation. You plant the seeds, you create. I can't, but the Bible speaks definitely. Faith is substance of things hoped for, yet not seen. So you have to pray and hope. But if you need to think of hell, if there's a hell, there has to be a heaven. Because if that's all you've got to look for, you don't have much of anything, so why bother with life? I've had people tell me, how could you believe in that? I said, it's very easy. It's very, very easy to believe. Okay, pasta's boiling. We're all just at different levels of growth. Maybe you're at that stage of growth. But if somebody believes in hell, I know they believe in God. I cried. One of Tony's friends, Tony and him together, I met, they worked together. They were corpsmen together in the service. They came out. They worked at Mount Sinai. His name was Walter. I'm sure he's dead because he's older than I am. If he isn't, I'd say he's in his 80s or not. Wait a minute. No, he would be in his 90s, so no, he wouldn't be alive. We came on the phone, and as I was ending the call, I said, God bless. And he said, I don't believe in God. I broke down crying. I'd never heard anybody say they didn't believe in God. I mean, that was just beyond my comprehension. And I told him, how could you not believe in him? He said, because I've been through hell, Sandy. And I knew he had been in Vietnam, so I knew. And he said, and the hate of men in my color, because he was darker. And he said, there is no such thing as God. There's nothing when you die. I really cried on the phone to him. And I tried to talk to him about it. He got off the phone, but he had to tell my husband. He said, nobody's ever cried for me. He had to take a step back and realize that he was a human being. He wasn't a color. Now, don't let people put you down. You're a person. Well, he left the United States. He went to Australia. He opened up a restaurant, and he married an Australian white woman. And they had 2 beautiful little girls. And he had to tell Tony, all because your wife cried for me and was concerned for my soul. And he learned that he was a human being and that nobody could put him down. He was as equal to anybody else, and that God did love him. But he said, nobody's ever cared for me, and I did care. So, when people realize people care for them and that God does love them, I remember that. He was a very nice man. When he yelled at me, I didn't believe he said that. He said, when you die, you just die. I said, no, my body dies, but I don't die. I live on. This is only a shell that I express myself in. And when I'm done with this life, I will leave and go home. Oh, you want to see what I'm doing? I'm sorry. I figured you didn't have to see the pasta. I've been turning the meat, as you see. We're just going to let it continue cooking until it falls apart. So I'll get the bowl. I'm going to have to mix it all up. So I need a strainer to get it out. Another thing I do not do is rinse my pasta off because I got the nutrients on it. I'm going to leave it. No, not yet. We're working on it, Leaf. But it's taking a bit of time. No, it's only been 30 minutes or so. We're working on it. It's going to take a while. Really? You actually used, instead of the pepperoni, you used chicken? Now that's what I call Missy experimenting in the kitchen. Yeah, I get experimental. I'm going to get experimental with scones today and see how the coconut milk goes with it. I thought about doing it with biscuits. I said, I don't think so. I'll go to scones because I know the scone ratio is close to a biscuit, but not quite, so I can play with it in that direction. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, Rob. Rob, I think you get tired of seeing my face after a while. Oh, so you almost put it into the dough itself then. Okay, I can see that. Yeah, if you mince it really fine, you should be able to do it. Yeah, because you wouldn't need big pieces, so when you pat it out, you'd end up with holes. Yeah, that should work quite nice. Isaiah, yes, I have made a curry. I like oxtail curry. I love shrimp curry. Okay. I've made chicken curry. What other kind of curry have I made? A corned beef. You know, the can of corned beef curry. I make those as well. My husband taught me. Hi, Big. We're going to try one of these pastas as soon as it cools down. No, it's not done yet. I enjoy people, Big Eric. I enjoy people and talking with people, visiting with people. I've always been that way. You get to know people, you get to see different points of view, and if it's women, we always get into talking and designing and stuff. Thank you, Tanya. Yeah, I just got the beans, the correct beans of Isaiah's bread, and I want to pick up some more grains so I can make Isaiah's bread again. No, I did not say that. I said I like people. Us, awesome. Hi. Okay. Oh, okay. I don't know who Tanya is. I know I knew a woman named Tanya. That wasn't her real name, but boy, does she have problems. I don't, she had, I, she became a social worker? Jesus. She has problems. It's a pasta dish with pork instead of beef this time. I know. I just got the right beans for it, but I have to order the grain, and that's what's holding me up. And I have everything but one grain. I have to buy winter wheat so I can grind it up. No, these are risotto pasta. Okay. Are we Cookie Sister? Stephanie? Uh, we're making a pasta dish with pork this time. It does sound good. That's why we're having it today. Okay. We're just waiting for the pasta, and after that, we'll have to close this video down because that meat's going to cook for a couple hours. But we're just waiting. I just want to show you how I do my pasta, because a lot of you think I run water through it after I cook it, or I just cook it in water. No, I actually cook it this way. Yeah, we cooked the pasta, Missy, in stock, and I put some bone broth in it as well, with no salt. And I explained why. I'm going to cook the pasta, then I'm going to strain it and put it in this bowl. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to wait for this meat sauce and this meat to get tender, and then we're going to do the second part. Then we're going to mix it all together, and then we're going to cook it again. Good morning, Isaiah, Tony. Well, it isn't al dente yet. It depends upon your stove, how high the heat is. I'm not interested. All right, Big. I'm showing how to cook my pasta in this dish right now. So I don't wash the nutrients off, and though I cooked it in the stock, you can see it didn't change the color. Instead of throwing the stock out, going out in the yard. So the plants will get it. Nothing is wasted here. Fear is real. Believe you me. When somebody fears something, I can say, I fear demons, okay? I've seen them. I've seen 1, 2 of them. Believe you me. So they're real. So fear is a very real thing. And remember, faith are things that are hoped for yet not seen. It's blind, you can't see it. But I believe it to be. And it will happen. So all this water, once it cools, I don't put it outside when it's hot. I have to wait till it cools. I can throw it on the where the plants are and the garden is. And when they wake up, it'll be there in the ground for them. But if you add salt, you have to pour it down the drain. And this is what I do. So there's not a lot of waste. And what waste there is, if I can't bury it in the yard, and I know the animals outside cannot eat it, because I feed them as well, I will then put it in the trash. Like people, my husband's aunt, she had a cast iron. Yeah, she had a cast iron. And she had it her life. It was her parents. And because they starch and iron clothes with it. And it lasts and to this day, I'm trying to see if there's any more in here. Yeah, there is one. She cut the cord off. And she used it. They had a cast iron with a cord. Today, if your iron goes because it's computerized, it only lasts so long. The vacuum cleaner my mother had wiring and stuff. It just had to be rewired. Today, you throw things out when they break. Nothing gets mended. You buy furniture now, and it's very hard to find real wood furniture. But they have pulp wood, and they'll put other stuff to it to design it up, but it's not real wood. And when this stuff gets scratched, or they say keep it out of the sun and do all these things, wood can deal with all that. This fake wood does not work. When the stuff breaks, there's nothing you can do. Anything made with plywood, once water gets on that plywood and it swells, you've got to get rid of it. If it was a piece of wood that had a water stain, you could sit there and sand it and care for it. Justin, you can say it seems real. Maybe what you need to do is have a demon in front of you, a real one. Your veil is lifted where you see a real one standing there. It'll put fear in you, believe you me. And it's very real. Hi, mister. So here's the pasta. It didn't change the color, but I've added a whole bunch of nutrients into it. And when the water gets thrown out, I'll throw it with my Jerusalem artichokes. When it cools, I'll put it out with the Jerusalem artichokes. So when they come up, they will have that bone broth and the vegetable stock as well. So it's like just rotating everything, so everything is used. A lot of people don't think of that. So now we're just waiting for the meat. And this is going to be a while. I don't think you want me to be talking forever because I still got to make beds and get this other stuff done. So we're going to have to close off. This is what old people used to do. They couldn't afford to waste this. The generation has lost so much. I am so thankful for my grandmother and the elders and the other people that have walked into my life. I was taught from young. Huh? Judy, what are you talking about? Isaiah, you're welcome. Hi, safe. The thing, where was I? Oh, we didn't throw things away. Things were used. I take old t-shirts that have holes and stuff in them. I sit there and use them for rags until I can't use them anymore. And then I wash them, and if they start falling apart too bad, they go into the trash. But by then, it's not just worn. Clothes that I don't fit, we were always taught to hand them down or give them away to people who could have it. Oh God, we're back there again with that power. So things were used constantly. We mended our clothes. With this elastic in the material, you can't mend your clothes. You don't have a 5/8 inch seam. I talk about that, and I love to sew. From what I can gather, so many jewels, see, somebody told me that's money. So you send jewels, and I don't understand, but so I don't know how your end works, Judy. But jewels, if you have enough jewels, that means you can give a gift. I guess it means a heart. You can give a flower. You can give a medal or something like that. That's what I'm getting from what I've been told on the people have been telling me on this. But if there's anybody here, could you please explain to Judy how these jewels work more? Because I've never used them. Isaiah sent a gift. He sent a heart. I guess that's how you send it. Is that how it works? You have to get so many jewels and then the thing pops up. Okay? Thank you for showing us, Isaiah. So listen, I'll probably be back by 8 o'clock. Let me see how this meat is, if it's moving along properly. It's not tender yet. An American Home Cooking Gift membership. Thank you. I don't know what that is, but thank you. Okay? I will. Oh, I can't do that. It doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. I went to click it, but thank you very much, Missy. Okay. So, if you want to see me this afternoon, I don't know what time I'm going to do it. It might start about 2 o'clock. 2, I'll try to make, we're going to try making cranberry coconut scones and see how they come out. Well, I haven't seen it yet, Blondie. I just learned they said that I got 4,000 subscribers, which took a while, and I am grateful for all of you subscribing to the channel. They said things opened up that I can brand, I can do this, I can do that. I don't know what it all means yet. Okay, there it is, young lady. If you, that's how it works. Justin, just explain it. Okay, so I'll see all of you in about an hour. Listen, 7:30, I'm going to come back and we're going to see how this meat is so we can finish this dish. I just want to clean all my mess up at this point and get the beds going. Okay, so I will be back and I will see you then. If you're up, if you're sleeping, you'll see it in the video, in a live video later when you wake up. And for those of you that are up with me, 1 hour and I'll be back. Okay, see you then.